Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So today I want to talk about Kendrick Perkins' comments towards James Harden a little bit. Now, Harden and the Clippers have really picked it up, man. The team looks really good. They decided to move Russell Westbrook to the bench, and now they're flourishing. You know, Kawhi is comfortable, PG is comfortable, and most importantly, those guys are healthy. And Harden has found his role with this team, and they're clicking right now, looking like one of the strongest teams, one of the strongest candidates to come out the West, and the biggest threat to Denver in the entire conference right now, if you had to look at it, you know. But Harden, he made some interesting comments after their last game against Phoenix, and he says, you know, their initial 0-6 start after his arrival gave a lot of people things to talk about. He said, but those people are nowhere to be found. And Kendrick Perkins, you know, being one of the people that's been critical of Harden and his inability to show up at critical moments in the playoffs, you know, he didn't back down. And I'm going to show you what he said today. But first, let's listen to what Harden had to say. Let's peep.
How do you like the fit here, James? How's the fit?
Fit is great. I knew that from the beginning, you know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of this. And obviously, it didn't start off well. So many people it gave people so much to talk about in a negative way. And now those people that was talking are nowhere to be found. Like, literally nowhere to be found. Which we knew that was going to happen, you know what I mean? But for us, I think it's just focusing on this team getting better every single day and focusing on the main goal.
Now, I mean, the Clippers are humming. Do they have the best big three in the NBA, Perk?
Absolutely not, and I'm not about to give them that right now. And look, I don't.
There's the haters, James.
First of all,
there it is. That's what you're talking about.
Now, are they the biggest threat in the West to the Denver Nuggets? Yes, they are. They're playing exceptional basketball because of Kawhi Leonard and his health. Kawhi Leonard has the capability of being the best player in any series. Has James Harden found his niche and T. Lue found a rotation that fits and got them playing well? Hell yeah. But let me tell you, like James Harden talking about it's hard for the haters to be found. I'm sitting right here. I'm too big to hide. And I'm not hating. I'm just calling the facts. And the fact is that y'all did struggle when you first arrived in Los Angeles. Now y'all playing well. But at the end of the day, James, no one cares. We want to see what you do in the postseason. You forgot, I was your teammate when we went to the NBA Finals, and we couldn't find you in the finals when we lost to the Miami Heat. So we want to see it happen. We did watch you quit on Doc Rivers in the Philadelphia 76ers when y'all should have beat the Boston Celtics last year. We watched when Chris Paul was in Houston and went out with a hamstring injury and you couldn't finish and close the series. So at the end of the day, we're sitting here watching you, not what you're going to do in the regular season, because we saw you do that with Joel Embiid last season. We're watching to see what the hell you're going to do when it matters the most, and that's in the postseason.
Okay, so clearly Kendrick Perkins felt like what James Harden said was directed, if not just at him solely, it was definitely directed in his direction. He was one of the people that it was intended for. So, honestly, a lot of us are burned out on James Harden's regular season stats, especially many of us who thought, you know, his regular season production was inflated. Now, we can't just dismiss what he was able to do in D'Antoni's system in Houston. Yeah, he didn't win a championship. Yeah, he flamed out in some big games in the playoffs. But, you know, consistently getting your team there and really pushing a prime Golden State team to its limits with Chris Paul, I think, you know, deserves a little more credit. Now, he could have came up bigger at different times. He played pretty good in Brooklyn. He played but I mean, he was already checking out with that too, and that was more so of, you know, some of the things Katie and Kyrie had going on while he wanted to hurry up out of there. And then he wanted to go to Philly initially anyway. But then when he got to Philly, you know, he went against the guy who got him paid all this money in Houston. You see what I'm saying? So Harden, it's at a point in his career where, yeah, it's about winning a championship and not that all the pressure is on him to do so. It's just the fact that now you're on a team with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook. And when people look back on your career, they're going to say you play with KD, you play with Kyrie, you play with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, you play with Russ several times. You know what I'm saying? You play with a lot of people. You play with Joel Embiid. So they're going to say you play with a lot of great players. And if you can't figure it out, you know, it's going to kind of be on you. It's not going to look good that you play with all these guys. And a lot of these guys are champions, but they just didn't win with you when you were on the roster. As far as what Perk is saying, yeah, I agree. You know, Harden has to win at a high level. And as far as Harden, you know, he's able to facilitate, handle the ball, and do some good things for that team. I think this is his best opportunity. You got guys like PG and Kawhi. They take a lot off of you having to be anything defensively. You could just be somewhat respectable and get away with it because those guys interchangeably can guard some of the best players on the perimeter in the entire NBA. You got people like Norman Powell coming off the bench, Russell Westbrook. You have a loaded team, so you can get a ring in this situation without having to do too much, you know. But they let you be James Harden just enough where you're still James Harden and you're able to play the style of basketball that you love. So I think it's a win-win for him if he can get a title this year. And it's wide open this year. When I look at Denver, they obviously missed what Bruce Brown brought last year off the bench. You know, he was just a perfect fit for them. They hadn't been the same Denver from last year. You look at younger teams like OKC, we like how they look. We think they're going to be a tremendous team and very formidable in the playoffs. But, you know, when it's a team that young, you do feel like if they match up with a healthy version of the Clippers, then they have a great chance to win that series, they can come out victorious at the end of that series. So they have a lot working in their favor, man. The Lakers don't look too good right now. Maybe they'll make some sort of move before the deadline, but Clippers are humming right now, man. And James Harden has a chance to rewrite that narrative about his career, because it's not always about every player winning as a number one on the roster, right? I know that's a narrative for people, because Harden is still contributing in a way where it's very much needed for this team. And he's on a franchise that never won. See, all of that plays into it. I'm not under the assumption that everybody has to win as a number one to be considered all-time great or anything like that. I just think you need to be in the best situation for you, so your statistical production can go down. I don't see it how some others see it, where you got to average 30 and you got to be the man, you know, throughout the playoffs. Like, if he give him a smooth night team, he's making good plays for himself and others, you know, and he's engaged defensively. He's not the reason his team gets beat, and he comes up in some clutch moments, man. That's enough for me to put more respect on his name than he's already earned in this league. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Y'all rocking with what James Harden said, or you rocking with Perk's comments? Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.